Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. So I am not wearing makeup because your girl feels like horse poo today. That is also the reason why I needed a more so easier video to do. So I will be decluttering my eyeshadow palette collection. You know, not only that, but we are almost halfway through 2018, and this is usually the time that I start, figuring out what's gotta go. I mean, you ain't gotta go back to the stove, but you can't stay here no more. I'm sorry. I'm not feeling well, so that's when my weird really starts coming out. But I'm not about to pick the box up again. You saw it in the thumbnail. It's big, it's heavy. And because there are a lot of eyeshadow palettes, let me just get right into it. First up is this palette from a company that I had never heard of until a few days ago. It is Lunatic Cosmetics. First of all, I love the aesthetic of this brand. I absolutely love it. You know, it's called Lunatic Cosmetics, and they really do, stick to that theme there. They sent a couple other palettes as well, so you'll see that. But this is their contour palette, volume 2. When I saw it, I thought this was an actual contour palette, and then I saw the colors that are in it. Those are what they look like, and they sent this other one. I guess that's volume 1. Yeah, this is the first contour palette. That's what the packaging looks like there, and then when you open it up, that's what those colors look like. So, I don't think anyone's really about to be contouring with either of these palettes. However, when it comes to keeping them, one can stay, one has got to go. This is the one that is going to stay. I just see myself using these. I don't know anything about, how the actual formula of these works. I'm literally just basing my decision of whether or not I'm keeping them or not on the colors that are in here. This one, I don't see anything that really would make me want to create a look. So, and because I literally just received this a few days ago, I'm just going to go ahead and add that to my pile of giveaway things that I need to give away. So this palette is also from Lunatic Cosmetics. This is their Vampira eyeshadow palette. Again, the aesthetic of this brand, just their packaging, the way they brand themselves, it's on the levels of Beauty Bakery. I'm a sucker for packaging, so when it comes to packaging, absolutely get an A from me. And I usually don't like palettes where they're all shimmer shades, but this one I'm going to keep just because I do like the shimmers in here. I probably don't have some, shimmery grays or anything like that, and I always say, oh, I'm never going to use this, and then I'm doing some type of eye look that I never thought I would be doing, and I'm like, that would have worked. I probably shouldn't have gotten rid of that. So I'm going to keep this right here, and I'll let you guys know how the actual formula of this brand works. Or you could let me know if you've tried anything from Lunatic Cosmetics. So this is the CoverGirl True Naked Smoky Palette. I don't believe I have ever used CoverGirl eyeshadows before, but I am going to keep this just because I do feel like this will give me a nice smoky eye if I ever feel like doing one. I don't do dark shadows that often, but again, I feel like there's going to come a time where I want to do one, and then I won't have any eyeshadows to do it because I got rid of all of them because I think I don't do dark eyeshadow. Also from CoverGirl is this Kool Kat Palette. I guess this is in collaboration with Katy Perry. This is the Hot Cat one, and I have never used this one either, but this one can go. I feel like it's one of those, I have plenty of palettes with shades like this, and I probably like those more since I've actually used those. So this one, again, I've never used it before, so we're just going to go ahead and give that one away. She's a little dirty there, don't mind that. But this is by Rimmel London. This is their Magnify Eyes Color Edition Eye Contouring Palette. I've only used it a couple times, but I have to say I am pleasantly surprised. These blend out really well on your eyes, and the color payoff is really good on these without having to do that much. And I feel like they give you the option to get a little crazy, with the blue and the green if you want to, but then, keep it simple if, nudes is what you're used to doing on your eyes. So I feel like this is a really nice drugstore palette. So I'm going to go ahead and keep her. This is by Lottie London. If you guys saw the video I did with the using all the makeup that is 1-starred at Ulta, that's where I used this. And really, I feel like, at least from what I remember when I did try it in that video, I feel like this probably didn't deserve 1 star. I feel like that's kind of harsh. I'm pretty sure it was just the color payoff. That is why I would not say this is, you know, some type of 4 or 5 star palette. But I feel like 1 was a little harsh. However, I'm gonna let her go, you know, that she can find a home with someone else. All right, this is by Becca. This is their Eyelights palette, part of their Ski Glow collection. I'm pretty sure you're supposed to use this on the eyes. For all I know, it could be a highlighter palette. Those are what the, ooh, that mirror is just gonna blind you guys. These are what the shades look like. I really only used this one in the middle for an inner corner highlight, and then I think this one maybe once or twice on my lids. I am gonna keep this one just because some of these could be used as highlights, and some of them also could be used as inner eye highlight. Really, I'm just keeping it for this shade. If we're gonna be completely honest, I really do like this shade as an inner corner highlight, but I do like the fact that the other ones do have multi-purposes. I could use them on my lid. I could use them as highlighter, so I'm gonna go ahead and keep her. So this is the It's My Ray Ray palette in collaboration with BH Cosmetics. I purchased it because, you know, I love Ray, so yeah, I gotta support her. But going into it, I didn't have the best of hopes just because of the other experiences I've had with BH shadows, but these were really nice. I did a video on this as well. They blend really nice. The payoff is really nice on this, and even if I wasn't going to keep this just because I like the actual eyeshadows, I was certainly going to keep it because of this part right here. And usually I don't like eyeshadow palettes that have, you know, eyeshadows, highlights, lipstick all in one, just because I feel like stuff starts getting contaminated, and I just don't like palettes like that. But I'm here for it this time around because this might just be the perfect contour that I have found for my skin tone. You know, it actually shows up. I do have a contour palette from BH Cosmetics, which, you know, let's focus on this right here. If they sold this like separately on its own, I would most certainly buy it. I'm gonna have to buy like another one just so I can have this one, because I do believe this palette is limited edition, and what happens when I run out of this. And the highlights on this are nice as well, so I will most certainly be keeping this eyeshadow palette that I can't close correctly. Up next is the Nyx Err Palette, and I've only used this once, and that was just using it with other eyeshadows. But these are what the, ooh, okay, let me figure out how we're gonna do this. Those are the shades that come in this palette. It's very, you know, pastel type of palette. I don't reach for pastel eyeshadows very often. I don't do pastel looks very often, but because I don't do that often and because I don't have many of them, I am going to keep this one. NYX eyeshadows do usually blend very well. When I did use this, I don't recall having any problems with it. So because it's the only pastel palette I have for the most part, I am going to go ahead and keep this one just because, again, never know when I'm going to need it. And the colors in there are very nice colors as well. This is the Ofra Professional Makeup Palette. If you've seen the video where I tried using all of the eyeshadow palettes on my eyes, then you know why my face looks like this. Now, if you know anything about me, you know a palette that looks like this is usually right up my alley. I'd probably be singing your praises if the colors actually looked like this when you use it on your eyes. They do not, all right? I had to fight, and you probably see where I was digging into this palette. You know, like your yellow wasn't yellow on my face. Like, what does that say about this? So I'm gonna go ahead and, you know, let her go on to someone else, let her find a home somewhere else. This was probably the biggest letdown of a palette that I've had in a minute. So this is the Ciate OMFG eyeshadow palette. Funny thing about this, I received it in my Club Crushes box for 1 month, and I thought, oh, I'm gonna do a look with that. And then I was doing the video on my makeup pet peeves, and I grabbed it, you know, just because I remembered when I swatched it, it wasn't that great. And then I used it in that video, and I realized, wow, if you thought Ofra was a letdown when it comes to a colorful palette not being colorful on your face, this, I really had to stop while filming that video and figure out what was going on. The color payoff just was not there for me. It stinks because, again, you know, I love colorful eyeshadow palettes, so I wish I could keep this, but I'm gonna go ahead and, you already know. This is the Morphe Day Slayer 15D. This is what it looks like on the inside there. I'm going to keep this just because I feel like this is a really good, you know, if you are someone who just does these type of looks every day, this is a very nice everyday palette for you to have. I've used it, you know, in collaboration with other palettes, you know, if I need brown transitions, gold lid colors, anything like that. And I feel like when Morphe started, you know, coming out with this type of packaging, like when they did this rebranding, I always need to figure out if I'm holding in the right place. When they did this rebranding, they really stepped it up with their eyeshadows. So I'm going to go ahead and keep this because there's some eyeshadow palettes that you have that, you know, you don't keep them to use on their own, but you keep them because they're good in helping with other eyeshadows. This is the Shayla Perception palette in collaboration with ColourPop. I am going to keep this one, even though I wasn't that crazy about the mattes. I really like the shimmers of these shadows. I haven't tried other ColourPop pressed shadows, so I don't know about those, but for this one, I feel like they give like a wet eyeshadow type of look, and I really like that about these, so I'm going to go ahead and keep this palette. Pure My Little Pony palette. I feel like this is probably one of my top fave palettes. I've used it quite a bit, especially, you know, during the Halloween season when I was doing those crazy looks. These are the colors that come in it. Definitely my type of palette. You know, it's got color, but if you want to, you know, keep it neutral, anything like that, you can get some looks with that out of this one. I love using this with other eyeshadows. They blend really well. That's what really sold me about Pure, because when I first came across Pure, I didn't know much about the company in general. So for their eyeshadows, especially when it comes to eyeshadows on darker skin tones, I was kind of sleeping on them, you know. And then I used it when I took over their Snapchat, and I was like, wow, all right, y'all can really blend, and the color is quite nice on my skin tone. So that sold me with like the first palette, which I'm pretty sure I still have, but you'll see later on. And then they came out with this one, and I was just like, I have to have it. Literally, if you type in, you know, Pure My Little Pony, several videos will pop up on my channel just because that's how much I use it. So that's not going anywhere. This is the Hypnotize palette. This is by Pinky Rose Cosmetics. This is a pressed glitter palette. So, I mean, when you open it, it's pretty to look at, but I'm just not here for it. I tried using it once or twice. It just gets all over the place. It's all over your face. I would rather just deal with, you know, loose glitter and see what happens there. So I'm going to go ahead and let her go. Oh, Too Faced palettes. The irony here is that I received these in the mail late last year from Too Faced, and I was so excited because these are 2, 3, maybe even 4-year-old palettes, and everyone's always talked about them. Everyone said, oh my god, the chocolate palette, you know, the Bon Bon palette by Too Faced, blah, 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 blah. And you might be able to tell that they have not been used. If I have used either of these palettes, it was maybe just one shade that I used. This is the chocolate palette, and then this is the sweet peach palette, I believe. I'm pretty sure I've only used like maybe one shade out of both of these palettes. Looking at them, I think I'm gonna keep the Sweet Peach palette just to give it a chance. Like, I feel like I should at least give these palettes that have literally been talked about for years a chance before I get rid of both of them. So I'm gonna keep one, and create some type of look and really see, you know, like if the hype is real on these palettes. I feel bad, you know, getting rid of this one because I literally feel like it's been talked about so much, and I'm not even trying it before giving it away. But I don't know, I'm not that excited about any of the shades in this palette. So I'm going to go ahead and give her away. Take Me Back to Brazil by BH Cosmetics. Again, this is a palette that I was extremely excited to try because just look at her, you know, every rainbow addicted eyeshadow applier's dream there. However, you know, I did a video on this, and the color payoff, you know, it took some digging in there. You know, I was able to create a look. It just wasn't as vibrant as I would have wanted it to be. However, you can tell, like, this has been through some battles. You know, I've used this quite a bit in my eyeshadow looks. Again, I think this is one of those, it's good in collaboration with other eyeshadows. I used this a lot during the Halloween season. I've used this quite a bit in my colorful eyeshadow looks. So I am going to keep her because I do think she has her uses, but I'm not sure I could put her in, you know, like my top fave palettes or anything like that. So if I could find a palette that looks like this, where the shadows had, you know, a little bit better of a payoff, I'd probably let her go. But since I don't, she can stay for now. Look at her. Look at my baby. This is the Sephora Pro Editorial Palette. If you guys know me, if you know my channel, you know she is not going anywhere. Certainly in my top fave eyeshadow palettes. Just look at her. Again, she's been through some things, you know. I'm pretty sure every colorful eyeshadow look I've done since getting this palette has included this palette. I absolutely love these eyeshadows. I was not, and still not, a fan of the fallouts of this palette. However, she is worth it. You know, I'll deal with it. That's why I do my eyeshadow before I do the rest of my face. The only thing that I have come to realize about this palette that I didn't realize when I did the review video on this is that, well, and I didn't realize it because I just used eyeshadows in this palette. She doesn't play well with other eyeshadows. I've tried mixing her with other eyeshadow palettes, other colorful eyeshadow palettes, and it doesn't blend well with eyeshadows that don't come out of this palette. You know, I've tried mixing it with, you know, this BH Take Me Back to Brazil palette. I've tried mixing it with, you know, some other palettes that I'll show you guys, and it typically does not blend that well. They really only blend that well with each other. But you know, looking at all the colors that come in this, you can create several eyeshadow looks within this palette that you don't really need other ones. But that's kind of annoying that, you know, this costs that much money and I can really only use her on her own. Now, don't quote me on this, but I am pretty sure this is the first eyeshadow palette that I ever purchased. If not, then it was her sister or whatever they call her. It is the Anastasia Beverly Hills Self-Made palette. It cracks me up just looking at the inside of this palette. Look at this palette. Like, do you see that? Do you? Because Spirit Rock and Hot Chocolate are absolutely gone. For a good minute, Hot Chocolate was like the only, you know, outer corner, sometimes crease color brown that I was using for a good minute, which is why she's no longer with us. I put, you know, a good dent in the other shades that are in this palette. I don't use it that much anymore because I do feel like lately I've been pretty much, you know, bold, colorful type eyeshadow looks, but I don't know. I feel like I'm going to keep her just because they are, you know, good eyeshadows. They do work well. And I don't know, I kind of feel like she needs to be kept because she's the first one that I ever purchased. Oh, I found another Kool Kat palette, again in collaboration with Katy Perry, but this one is the Kool Kat Palette. I feel like I'm at the point where I can look at an eyeshadow palette and tell if it's going to be beneficial to me. Just look, oh, that was a brush. Just looking at the shades that come in the palette. Again, it's more so pastel-y type colors, more so, are they all shimmers? Oh, they're all shimmers. Oh. My mind might have been changed just now. The camera cut off. It was a mixture of shimmers and mattes, but I think this one is just all shimmers and they're more so pastel shimmers. So this one can stay just because I did keep that Nyx Err palette, which was more so a little bit more matte. So if I ever do need to do some type of pastel look, then I can use this with that Nyx one and probably get some really nice looks. This is the Deck of Scarlet Hot palette, edition number 2. I believe this was in collaboration with the YouTuber Babs Beauty, I believe. I don't know, don't quote me. This is what it looks like on the inside. I'm pretty sure the only thing I've used in here is that purple right there. Again, it's one of those, you know, it's got a mixture of lip colors that you can use, and this is why I don't like palettes like this, because if I really got close in to at least the palette, you'd see like there's little flecks of whatever, I'm assuming eyeshadow in the lip things, and that just annoys me, and I feel like I won't be using this anytime soon. It annoys me holding this up right now because this is my most expensive eyeshadow palette and I have still not used it. I keep saying I'm going to do, you know, a video using the Sugar Pill palette that I bought, and I am going to do it. I swear I'm going to. I just haven't gotten around to doing it yet, so y'all know this is not going anywhere. This is my most expensive eyeshadow palette. I'm pretty sure all of these, because you have to buy the actual pans, and then if you buy enough, then you get this for free, and if you don't, then I think even this, like the actual cardboard, is like $20 or something like that. But I think all of the pans are $10. if I'm not mistaken. Something like that. So yeah, she's not going anywhere, and a video on her is coming soon. This is the Springtime in Paris Matte and Shimmer Eyeshadow Palette by Ciate. I have used this in, if I could open it, I have used this in a couple looks before. I really do like the formula of their eyeshadows. They do really well. You know, they show up on my skin. That's usually, you know, like what will make me like an eyeshadow palette. If it shows up on my skin and the formula is nice, you know, it blends, it doesn't have that much fallout, all that other stuff. It has all of that. However, I mean, you can probably see I haven't used it that much. You know, I'm not going to do that much with it. And I feel like someone else will probably, you know, give it the use that it deserves. So I'm going to go ahead and let her go. Okay, this is by Ruby Kisses. This is their letter series Midnight Adventures. It still has the plastic on it. I can't even open it to show you like what the actual shades look like, but it's pretty much, you know, a neutral, natural selection there, you know, browns, blacks, all that other stuff. I feel like the fact that I haven't even taken the plastic off of it says that she can go. Oh wait, there's another one. This is the Ruby Kisses letter series Moonlight Stroll. I've at least taken I think I've taken the plastic off of this one. Maybe I have not. Oh, I have. This is what that one looks like. I'm sorry, there really wasn't much that's exciting about either of these palettes. I kind of want to keep it just so I can see what the formula's like of Ruby Kisses eyeshadows. Actually, you know what? I'm going to keep the one that I didn't take the plastic off of just so I can see what Ruby Kisses eyeshadow formula is like and give this one away because this is just really, really boring. Like, what? What are you going to do with this eyeshadow palette? So she can go. They can both go. They can both. They can both go. Alrighty then, this is the palette that had me checking for Pure Cosmetics. It's the Love Your Selfie palette. I've done a Snapchat takeover with this palette. I've done a look here on my channel with this palette. I think I've done it more than once. I've done a couple looks with this palette before. I think I even did like a full face of Pure on my channel with this palette. Again, it's one of those, you know, it's got a mascara and a lipstick there. Not that much of an issue just because, you know, it's a bottle of mascara and a bottle of lip gloss, which is not in here because I actually really like that lip gloss, so I put it in my lip gloss container so I can use it more often. But this really, you know, let me know that, okay, pure eyeshadows, they're pretty much here, you know. But that being said, though, I have the My Little Pony palette, and it kind of has the shades in here except for maybe like the black. Oh, it also has I think a bronzer. It's not bronzing me. It's got a blush and an illuminator. Even though I really did like the look that I did with this palette, and so did you guys. Know that look got a lot of hype when I did it. I think she can go. You know, I think she's you know, provided everything that she's needed to provide. She's let me know that if they ever do come out with an eyeshadow palette, I can probably trust it as far as formula goes. But I don't think she has any uses anymore. This is also from Pinky Rose. It's their Spotlight. Oh wait, no. It's their Bright Lights eyeshadow palette. When I saw this on Ricky's NYC, I thought I needed to have it because, as you probably guessed, it's a colorful eyeshadow palette. So I went ahead and purchased it, and then it came in my Cult Crusher subscription. So I actually have two. One I've put aside to give away. I really like this palette. I did the, you know, Who Said Dark Skin Can't Wear Colorful Eyeshadow video using this palette. It's not going anywhere. I love the colors in here. They are vibrant on your skin as they look here in the pans. Alright, this is the Desi and Katie collab eyeshadow palette. I think it's called like The Girls or something like that, but they did this in collaboration with Dose of Colors, and these are the 4 shades that come in here. Again, they're all shimmers. I actually did a double cut crease. The first time I did a double cut crease, I used this for one of my lid colors. I think the payoff on here is great. I think there's like 1 or 2 shades that you need to use like Fix Plus or water or something like that for the color to really, you know, be popping on your face. The only thing, I don't remember which one it is. I think it might be this one, which is Turbo Sun, I think, something like that. The fallout was just crazy. No, it might be this one. I think it's this one. The fallout is crazy on your face. However, I'm gonna keep this just because I do like these as lid colors. Again, I feel like they kind of give that like wet look for shimmer shades, so I like that about them. This is the Morphe Nightmaster 15N eyeshadow palette. I don't believe I've used this, and if I have, it was only like once or twice. That is what it's looking like on the inside there. I'm going to go ahead and let go of this just because I feel like I have other palettes that have the same shades in them. This is the Club Tropicana 28 color foil eyeshadow palette from BH Cosmetics. You would think this would be a dream for me because look at her. But again, with BH, it's like you've got colors like this and then the payoff is just like half of what this could be just looking at it. However, I do use this. Again, I think BH, as at least the ones I've tried besides the It's My Ray Ray palette, I think they stepped it up with the formula for that palette. But for the most part, most of the palettes I've tried from BH work better when you're using them with other eyeshadows. So I've used these as, you know, lid colors. You know, I've thrown some Fix Plus on there and they usually do good. So I'm going to keep this just because of how colorful it is and because I know that these can be used as lid colors. Also from BH, their Modern Mattes 28 color eyeshadow palette. So pretty much this looks exactly like the one that I just showed you, except these are all mattes, and this is just ridiculous to open. I hate opening this. I'm not going to open it right now. You can pretty much see the colors that come in it, and this one can go just because I kept the Take Me Back to Brazil. I kept the foil eyeshadow, so there's really no need for this. We are just on a roll here with BH Cosmetics. This is the Carly Bybel 10 color eyeshadow and 4 color highlighter palette. I think BH steps it up with their influencer collaborations because again, this is a pretty good palette, you know. The shimmers, Jesus, I've been talking for too long now. The shimmers are what I like the most here. The mattes, I can't think of any issues that, you know, I need to say about the mattes. I just, you know, some of them were not made for my skin tone, but for the most part, you know, there's a pretty good dent in these three right here, and then I feel like the shimmers, which the ones that are meant to be shimmers right here, are great on your face. This is a just fabulous highlight for, you know, deeper complexions. These also work as shimmers on your eyes, and I could also use this one as a highlight as well. This isn't going anywhere, you know. I like her. I like these shimmers the most, so she can stay. Speaking of collaborations, this is the Makeup Revolution Sophie X Ultra Eyeshadow Palette. I used this when I did the full face of Makeup Revolution. Something's always falling in my videos. And I wasn't that impressed with the actual shades. I didn't use that many, as you can tell. I think I only used like maybe these 3 right here or something like that. I don't know, but I remember saying like I wasn't that impressed, but I am going to keep her just so I can give her another chance because it does have some really nice colors in here, and I feel like I can get some really nice eyeshadow combinations out of this. You know, maybe it just needs some Fix Plus or something like that, so you can stay. You can sit with us. This is the Mented, I don't remember the actual name of the eyeshadow palette, but they only have one eyeshadow palette, so you know what it is. But, oh wait, no, is it the Everyday eyeshadow palette? Something like that. But pretty much, it's an eyeshadow palette with shades for the everyday looks. I like this because you can dress it up, you can dress it down, and, you know, it's a brand for people of colors, so it's nice having neutrals like this that are going to show up on people of color. So this isn't going anywhere just because these are some really great crease shades. There's some really good transition shades. Like I feel like that's what's the hardest for you know, dark skin, finding transition shades that actually show up on your face and don't have you out here looking ashy. So she is staying. This is also by Rimmel, and it's another of their Magnify Eyes nude edition. So the other one was a little more colorful. This one is, you know, a nude palette. This can go. What is in here. Okay, so I've got some single eyeshadows. I think the top row is from ColourPop. This, I think, is Inglot, and I think these two, no, this one is from MAC, and then this one is Makeup Geek. Really, I feel like the whole palette could go, like even the palette itself could go. I actually don't know what company this, that's a Sugar Pill eyeshadow. That's not going anywhere because again, that's like $10 and that might be more than some of the palettes that I have to show in this video. So I'm gonna take that one out and then really this can go because I haven't touched any of the other ones except maybe the Makeup Geek one. Okay, what are you? This is the Morphe 35K palette. If I could open it. Maybe I can't. That is what it looks like. As you can tell, I have not used this palette and I feel like I've had it forever and I don't see myself using it in the future. So let's just go ahead and close that up. Alrighty then, we have the Morphe 24G Grande Glam palette. I was supposed to do a look for Valentine's Day. Did I do that? Oh, it's a shame when you can't remember if you've used a palette or not. This is what it looks like on the inside. Look how big those pans are. They are huge. Then again, the palette itself is pretty big. I'm going to keep this just because I feel like this would probably be like a go-to palette for, you know, flirty, pinky ready type of looks. Yeah, I'm going to keep her. Almost came. Am I going to keep her though? Because I feel like I have all of these colors. Even for Morphe. I feel like I have other Morphe palettes that have all of these. She can go. Also from Morphe, this is the 3502 palette. Before I open it, I'm letting you know right now this isn't going anywhere. I'm keeping this palette. This is what let me get back into Morphe because before they came out with this palette, it was just like, all right, another palette from Morphe. You know, it's probably like the other 20 palettes that Morphe has, but they changed the formula with I don't know if I would say change or yeah, I feel like, you know, 350 is not the same as 3502. However, 350 is not horrible. I just feel like, you know, they got better with this one. This is literally like the everyday natural eyeshadow palette that everyone probably needs. However, you can, you know, get some spicy looks out of this one. I think the look that I did with this one was quite spicy. So, yeah, she's staying. Another Morphe palette. And this is the 350 palette. I'm sure you've seen this everywhere you could possibly think of for like the last 4 years. There's a whole pan that's gone. All right. Or maybe that fell out because that doesn't look like something that's gone because I used it that much. I feel like it legit probably just fell out and I was too lazy to put it back in, so I just threw the whole thing away. Do I really have to say much about this palette? I'm sure you've seen in just like 18,000 different makeup looks. You've heard 18,000 different people talk about it. Again, I bought this, you know, when everyone was talking about the 350 palette. I thought it was an okay eyeshadow palette. Definitely feel 3502 is a great eyeshadow palette, while this is just, you know, like an okay palette. But because I have 3502, I don't really feel like there's a need for me to have 350, so you can go. Alright, it is not a Morphe palette, but there is still one more Morphe palette for me to show here. This is the Juvia's Place Magic palette. I bought this after I got the Masquerade palette just because I saw how much I was using the Masquerade palette. So I figured, you know, why not get this one just because the colors are, I feel, quite different from the Masquerade palette. I don't like this one as much as I do the Masquerade palette. How many times can I say Masquerade palette and I haven't even shown the Masquerade palette yet? Masquerade. But I do like the shadows in here. I don't feel like I have to go that much into Juvia's Place eyeshadows just because I feel for the most part we know that they're good. It's just, I don't know, I haven't been really feeling the colors that they've been coming out with lately for their eyeshadows, which is why I haven't picked any eyeshadow up recently. This one, I've used this quite a bit, I feel like, on my channel. I just the fact that I have used it before, you know, I've created a green look with it, like I think a silver one, a purple bluish one. I'm just kind of thinking, you know, what else can I do with this one? I think I'll keep it just for the transition shades and for the other shades to use in collaboration with other eyeshadows. I just don't think I'll be doing, you know, any looks just from this palette anytime soon. So it makes the cut this time around. The next time I'm decluttering eyeshadow, depending on, you know, how many palettes I've acquired by then, seeing as how I ordered like 3 eyeshadow palettes before I sat down to film this video, it might not make the cut next time around. And after all that talking I just did about the Magic palette, here is the Masquerade palette. First palette I've tried from Juvia's place. I love this palette. This is certainly in one of my, you know, top fave category of palettes there, even though you know, it's got colors that I've shown plenty of palettes already. I already own. It's got a side for, you know, my neutral glam, and then a side for my more bold glam, and the formula of their eyeshadows is just really good, so she's not going anywhere. Alright, probably the biggest palette that I have, this is the Morphe Dare to Create, I was about to say Dare to Create 39A palette. I did 2 looks with this palette. This is what the inside looks like. This is not going anywhere. I even feel like this is even more different of a formula than the 3502 palette. I don't know, I feel like these were even butterier than the 3502, even though they did like have a pretty significant difference between 35O and then every palette they've released since 3502. But I feel like this one was even more different. Maybe that's why this one was limited edition. But yeah, she has been extremely helpful in creating other looks. You can create several looks just with this one on its own. I don't know if you guys have seen it, but I'm going to talk about it again. Rocio here on YouTube did a look where she used every eyeshadow in this palette. I'll leave that here in the eye. So you can use this for looks on its own with other ones. So this is not going anywhere. Certainly in my top fave. Ow, that was my pinky. Top fave of palette. This is the City Mini palette in collaboration with Shayla by Maybelline. I like the shadows in here. I think these blend out really nice. You know, there's a good dent there in the purple and the black one. I'm just kind of thinking, you know, do I need to keep you though? Because I have all these other colors in just about every other palette that I've shown you guys. But I feel like I gotta keep it to support Shayla. Oh, it can stay, because I don't think I have any other shadows from Maybelline. I actually really don't think I have any other shadows from Maybelline. So it can stay just because, you know, I never know when I'm going to need eyeshadow from Maybelline. So the Fearless palette by Ciate London. You know, the cover's got, I don't think it's doing it on camera, but it's got that thing where depending on how you hold it, the eyes are supposed to open and close. I don't know if it's actually doing it. You know your girl's blind. But this is what the inside of the palette looks like. I don't... No, I have used it. I have used it. I was about to say I don't think I've ever used it. I just have not used it often. I feel like, you know, they were pretty blendable eyeshadows. You know, I don't think I had any issues working with the formula. I just don't feel like the colors really excite me or anything like that. So, I already know. And last but not least, there's this Color Splurge eyeshadow duo by Black Opal. This is Midnight's Allure, and it's just 2 blue eyeshadows. Can you see it? I'm gonna keep it. I don't think I've used eyeshadow from Black Opal. Have I? I don't know. I like the 2 shades. That's really the only reason that I'm going to keep it. You know, it won't take up much space, so it's alright. It can stay. Alright, so that is it. If you notice, I didn't show any palettes that you know I own, like the Modern Renaissance palette or the Jaclyn Hill palette. It's because, well, for those 2 palettes, they've been taken from me, you know. Gotta love family and friends, or I've just already, you know, decluttered it and got rid of it. So that's why they were not here in this video. I think I did a pretty decent job. You know, there are still quite a few eyeshadow palettes in front of me right now. Probably at least 30 that I am keeping. No regrets, I'm keeping it, all right? But I feel like I did a pretty good job. You know, I think I got rid of almost 20 eyeshadow palettes combinations there. So I feel like I did a decent job here. I'm not that much of a hoarder. At least I don't think I am. Don't judge me, okay? Let me know if you guys want to see me do this with another part of my collection, you know, highlights, lipsticks, anything like that. And yeah, that is pretty much it. Now I gotta go put all these eyeshadows away, but now the bin is, well, now it's empty, but now there'll be a whole lot more room. Really, if my collection can't fit into this bin, then I know it's time to get rid of some things, so I might have to do another one of these videos soon because, again, I did just order a whole bunch of eyeshadows. So, I hope you guys enjoyed seeing this video. Make sure to thumbs up, comment, and subscribe down below. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!